Buddha Augustine, Aquinas Berg, Ultimate Reality, The Origin of Good and Evil, and Secular Extensions. Clip E, The Core of the Inquiry, From Cosmic Truth to Worldly Life. Humanity as ultimate reflection on the world always starts with questioning the ultimate reality of the universe. This quest naturally leads to exploring the origin of good and evil, and the wisdom of Eastern and Western sages ultimately casts its metaphysical light on the order and choices of mundane life. We draw the classic insights of Buddha, St. Augustine, and Thomas Aquinas, interpret their core ideas, and end with Edmund Burke's reflections as a secular extension. No praise or blame is intended, only a cross-civilizational dialogue to explore the root of the universe, discern the origin of good and evil, and illuminate the path of reality. Clip R, Buddha, Dependent Origination. No inherent nature of good and evil. When Buddha resided at Jetavana Monastery in Shravasti, his teachings on cosmic reality centered on dependent origination, dispelling all attachments to a single creator or eternal ruler. In the Heart Sutra, he revealed the core of Mahayana Buddhism. Form is not different from emptiness. Emptiness is not different from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same applies to feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. All tangible things, even intangible feelings, thoughts, actions, and cognition, are inseparable from emptiness, not nothingness, but the absence of fixed, inherent nature in all existence. As Nagarjuna noted in the M. Lamadhyamaka Rik, all phenomena born from causes and conditions are empty, designated by names, and aligned with the middle way. Good and evil, too, follow this law. The Samyutta Nikaya states that good and evil rise from one's own karma, mind, and views, with no external standard. Evil stems from greed, hatred, delusion, and unwholesome acts. Good from non-harm, a pure mind, and right view. All good and evil start in the mind. They have no inherent nature, and can be transformed through one's own choices. Clip 3, St. Augustine, Divine Creation. Evil as the misuse of free will. In stark contrast, St. Augustine's cosmic thought is rooted in God as creation ex nihilo, the foundational Christian belief in unfree will. He argued that God, the omnipotent, unchanging, and perfectly good creator, made all things without flaw, and there is no independent substance of evil in the world. To answer why evil exists in a world created by the perfectly good God, Augustine proposed evil is not God as creation, but humanity as misuse of free will, a divine gift. Evil lies not in external acts, but in the will turning away from God as perfect order toward self-centered desire. Even enacted evil thoughts constitute sin. And free will is not a flaw of God as creation, but its perfection. Only free choice gives love for God and adherence to good true moral meaning. Clip 4, Thomas Aquinas, Good as Being, Evil as the Lack of Perfection. Thomas Aquinas inherited Augustine's theistic cosmology and systematized it with reason, defining the essence of good and evil with precision. In the Summa Theologica, he stated, goodness and being are really the same, differing only in idea. All things possess being because of God as creation, and thus inherently carry the nature of good, the ultimate perfection directed at God as cosmic order. Evil, by contrast, is not a substance opposing good, but a privation of perfection. Natural evil, illness, disaster comes from the imperfection of tangible things. Moral evil from humanity as free will violating God as eternal law and rational, perfect order. Evil is not God as intention, but a necessary part of a complete cosmic hierarchy. It is through the contrast of evil that humans deeply understand and freely choose good, and God as omnipotence and goodness are revealed in turning all privations into greater perfection. Clip 5. Edmund Burke, Secular Extension, Freedom with Boundaries, Virtue in Prudence. Metaphysical speculations on cosmic reality and good and evil inevitably extend to worldly life, and Edmund Burke's reflections are the secular echo of Christian theological thought in political life, rooted in Augustine and Aquinas' core idea, freedom with boundaries, goodness in order. In Reflections on the Revolution in France, Burke criticized radical reform in the name of abstract freedom and rationality, arguing that prudence is the first virtue in politics. He opposed destroying centuries of social tradition and moral order, stating that freedom is never unbridled indulgence, but a choice rooted in tradition, morality, and order. This is the secular interpretation of Augustine as freedom bound by perfect good. Clip 5. Edmund Burke, Secular Extension, Freedom with Boundaries, Virtue in Prudence. Metaphysical speculations on cosmic reality and good and evil inevitably extend to worldly life, and Edmund Burke's reflections are the secular echo of Christian theological thought in political life, rooted in Augustine and Aquinas' core idea, freedom with boundaries, goodness in order. In Reflections on the Revolution in France, Burke criticized radical reform in the name of abstract freedom and rationality, arguing that prudence is the first virtue in politics. He opposed destroying centuries of social tradition and moral order, stating that freedom is never unbridled indulgence, but a choice rooted in tradition, morality, and order. This is the secular interpretation of Augustine as freedom bound by perfect good. Clip 6. Cross-civilizational dialogue, the common proposition, know the root, abide by the boundaries. From Buddha's dependent origination and emptiness, to Augustine and Aquinas as divinely created, perfect, good. Eastern and Western sages offer vastly different answers to cosmic reality, and thus distinct systems of thought on good and evil. Buddha teaches to observe the mind inward, eliminate delusion, and uphold the middle way amid causes and conditions. Augustine and Aquinas urge turning upward to God, correcting the will, and drawing near to perfect good by obeying the cosmic order. Burke's secular extension merely places the core proposition of boundaries from metaphysical cosmos and morality into human political and social reality, echoing Hegel's critique of the conceit of reason. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Standing on different civilizational soils and following different speculative paths, these thinkers all offer profound answers to humanity's most fundamental spiritual questions. Their insights converge on a single truth: no matter the cosmic reality or the origin of good and evil, humanity's exploration of the world, pursuit of good, and choice of freedom must first know the route and abide by the boundaries. Only then can we walk steadily and unwaveringly.